If someone makes you feel guilty for having boundaries, you are not losing them. You are losing yourself. Pause. Letting go of someone you love rarely breaks you all at once. It does not arrive as a single dramatic collapse. It breaks you slowly. It breaks you every time you stay silent when something inside you is screaming. Every time you explain yourself to someone who has already decided not to understand. Every time you sacrifice your peace just to delay a loss you can already feel coming. Pause. Most people believe heartbreak comes from separation. Stoicism disagrees. The deepest damage comes from remaining where your dignity is quietly being eroded. Pause. You don't suffer because you loved too deeply. You suffer because you stayed too long after love stopped being mutual. Pause. Stoicism does not teach you how to stop loving. It teaches you when to stop bleeding. Pause. What most people call love in these moments is no longer love. It is attachment. Attachment to memories. Attachment to potential. Attachment to a version of someone that no longer exists. Pause. You tell yourself you are loyal, but loyalty to what? To who they were at the beginning? To the version of yourself that felt chosen? To the hope that things will return to what they once were? Pause. You stay because leaving feels like erasing history. You stay because letting go feels like admitting defeat. You stay because solitude feels more frightening than familiar pain. Pause. So you compromise. First, it's small things. You soften your boundaries. You explain your feelings one more time. You accept behavior that once would have disturbed you. Pause. Then it deepens. You stop speaking honestly. You begin monitoring their moods. You anticipate reactions before making choices. You are no longer living from inner alignment. You are living from emotional negotiation. Pause. From a Stoic perspective, this is not loyalty. It is attachment to suffering. Pause. The human nervous system does not distinguish between emotional loss and physical threat. When attachment forms, the brain registers the bond as safety. So when that bond weakens, the nervous system reacts with panic, not logic, not clarity, survival. Pause. This is why people cling to relationships that hurt them, not because they are weak, because their biology is screaming, "Do not let go." Pause. The mind then begins to rationalize the pain. It's not that bad. They're just stressed. I should be more patient. But patience without reciprocity is not virtue. It is self-neglect. Pause. Memory plays its own cruel role. You are not attached to who they are now. You are attached to the beginning, the laughter, the intimacy before conditions appeared, the promise of who you thought you would become together. Pause. The mind prefers familiar pain over uncertain freedom, because pain you recognize feels controllable. Freedom requires courage. Pause. Modern culture romanticizes endurance. If you love someone, you fight. If it's hard, it must be meaningful. If you leave, you didn't try enough. Stoicism rejects this narrative entirely. Pause. You do not fight yourself to keep someone. You do not erase your boundaries to prove devotion, and you do not abandon your character to maintain connection. Pause. Epictetus spoke with brutal clarity. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do. Pause. This is not passive resignation. It is psychological realism. Pause. You cannot force love to be healthy. You cannot negotiate respect. You cannot endure your way into mutual care. Pause. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, not to impress anyone. You lose nothing when you let go of what was never yours to control. People are not possessions. Affection is not property. Pause. When peace depends on another person's presence, you are no longer free. Seneca warned, "He who depends on another for peace places himself in chains." Pause. Chains do not always look like suffering. Sometimes they look like hope. Hope that tomorrow will be different. Hope that patience will be rewarded. Hope that if you give more, you will finally receive. Pause. But hope without evidence is a slow form of self-destruction. Pause. Here is the shift Stoicism demands. Letting go does not mean you failed to love. It means you stopped betraying yourself. Pause. You do not let go because you stopped caring. You let go because you started respecting reality. Pause. Love does not require self-erasure. Connection does not require silence. Commitment does not require suffering. Pause. Stoics understood something modern people struggle to accept. Solitude is not punishment. Self-betrayal is. Pause. Being alone may feel empty at first, but being with someone who drains your dignity creates a deeper, more corrosive loneliness. Stoics do not ask, "How do I hold on?" They ask, "What choice preserves my character?" Character is the only thing that survives every loss. Reputation fades. Relationships change. Circumstances collapse. Character remains. Letting go is not dramatic. It is quiet. It happens the moment you stop explaining yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you. The moment you stop justifying your boundaries. The moment you stop waiting for permission to protect your peace. You can love someone and still walk away. Not in anger, not in pride, not in revenge, but in alignment. This is not weakness. It is Stoic strength. The Stoic rule is simple and unforgiving. Let go of anyone who requires you to abandon yourself. Because anything that costs you your inner peace is already too expensive. And the moment you choose dignity over attachment, you do not become colder, you become free.